Every time you switch AI models, you start over from zero. New chat, no context, you're re-explaining your project, your tone, your preferences, all over again. And if you're building anything serious like client work, your own products, or doing research, all that context is lost every single time. Most people just accept it. I didn't want to. So I built a system that gives any AI model, Claude, GPT, Gemini, whatever you're using, full context on who you are and what you're working on instantly. No importing files, no re-explaining, it just knows. In my last video, I covered what an LLM Wiki is and why it works. And a lot of you asked in the comments how the Claude.md file is actually set up and what prompts I used. So today we're going to go deep on that. 4 specific things that make this system work and why each one matters. Let's get into it. Alright, so we're solving a problem that you might have. If you use AI seriously, you probably have projects scattered across different tools. All your client work, your personal projects, research docs, templates, they might be everywhere. And every time you open up a new chat, you're manually pulling files in and re-establishing context, hoping that the model doesn't go off in the wrong direction. I was running 2 client projects, 3 websites, and my own stuff, all out of a OneDrive, which, to be honest, was a nightmare. I was constantly hunting for the right file, constantly re-explaining the project, but this system fixed that, and here's how. This system is built on 4 pillars. The first one is the vault. The vault is a single folder that holds everything. All your documents, research, templates, project files, all in one place. I use Obsidian on top of it, but Obsidian is not required. It's just a visual layer that lets you see connections between files and formats, everything in Markdown. If you already take notes in Markdown, it just works right out of the box. The key idea here is you give your AI model access to this folder and have it index the entire structure. It creates its own map of your files so it can navigate efficiently without you pointing it at things manually. I'll drop the indexing prompt in the comments below. It's one of the most useful things that I've shared so far. Number 2 is the logic. This is the brain of the whole system. The Claude.md file is a plain text document that lives in the root of your vault. It tells your AI model exactly how to behave in your knowledge base and what everything is for and what workflows to follow. And most importantly, what rules to never break. Let me show you exactly what's in mine. Now we're going to cover the most important parts. So someone asked what the ingest prompt was and how does it work. So the ingest prompt is simply this. It reads the full source document, link, or summary. It discusses the key takeaways. It creates a summary page in the neural network. It creates and updates the concept pages for each major idea and entity. It cross-links bidirectionally in the network MD, and it finds existing pages that share that topic, theme, entity, or concept. It adds the links from the new pages to the old ones, and it limits the cross-links to the pages where the new content changes what the reader should do with that page. I tell it explicitly not to link, just to overlap topics. I tell it to update neural network index MD with links to the new pages and one-line descriptions. I have it append the entry to neural network log.md with the date, source name, and what changed. And lastly, I rename the raw file from the file name with ingested MD. Lastly, the single most important part of this file are the rules. Each one is specific and need to be there to ensure the source of truth stays intact. The first 2 are the most important ones. The source documents are read-only. The files in projects, YouTube scripts, books, templates, prompt skills, whatever you have that are personal documents, are never edited, they're never renamed, and they're never written back to. To index the source document, you create a summary page in neural network and direct the path reference to the source file. The index.md entry links to the neural network summary page, which links back to the source file. Raw files are read-only, except for the fact that I changed the name of the raw file to include ingested.md only after it's ingested. I explicitly tell it to never delete anything. I only have it create a profile page if the source provides at least one meaningful context. I have it add links to the linky page with a backlink to the raw source and the corresponding neural network page. And just a little bit of formatting, I add file names. I want it to be all lowercase with hyphens. And then citations, another important one, but every factual claim references its source file. It always includes the actual URL and the sources. And then the last one is before any task, state assumptions explicitly. If a simpler path exists, name it and ask. Stop and ask rather than guess. When uncertain about how to categorize something, always ask. The rules section is the most important part of this file. Without them, the AI starts making judgment calls you didn't ask for. With them, it stays inside the boundaries you set. If you want my full Claude.md template, I'll put a GitHub link in the comments. The third key point is the source. Here's where most setups fall apart. A knowledge base is only as good as the information inside it. The AI can index everything perfectly, but if your sources are inaccurate or inconsistent, the outputs will be too. So I split the source material into 2 categories. The first one is raw files, anything unprocessed. Article dumps, copy text, links, rough notes. I don't clean them up, I just get them in. The AI parses them and creates the structured summaries automatically. Let me give you an example of how this works. Watch what happens when I drop a file into raw and tell the Claude to ingest it. It reads the document, identifies the key ideas, and creates the summary pages in the neural network folder and cross-links everything to the relevant existing pages. I don't touch it, I just let the workflow run. The second one is source documents. These are project files, people profiles, research pages the system builds over time. These are controlled, I edit them, the AI can reference them, but it does not rewrite them. It is your source of truth, your actual understanding of a topic, not just a summary of what you read. The separation matters. Raw gets information in fast, source keeps it accurate long term. The last key point, and this is the simplest, is called the platform. The platform is just how you interact with the Vault. I primarily use Claude Code for coding, Cowork for everything else. But the system works with any model. When I need GPT or Gemini for something specific, I point it at the Vault and tell it to check the index for context. It picks it up immediately. The Claude.md file is named specifically for Claude because that's my default. If you're using a different model as your primary, just create the equivalent file and have AI write it for you based on your folder structure. It literally takes less than 5 minutes. The Vault is model agnostic. That's the whole point. So that's the full system. The Vault, the logic, the source, the platform. It takes a few hours to set up properly, but after that, every AI session starts with full context at your fingertips. No re-explaining, no hunting for files. It compounds over time as you add more to it. If you have any questions about this, drop them in the comments. I read them all and can answer what I can. If this was useful, like and subscribe. It generally helps. And let me know below, are you using a knowledge base already, or is this something that is new for you? I'd love to hear how you're thinking about using it. Until next time, do more, never give up, and always stay humble. I'll see you in the next one.